as you were saying, brother, about the neo man, he doesn't have to necessarily be this serious spiritual guru.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well,
What's your
I
take
think
on it?
that, we're so used to this idea, and this a lot of times it comes from religion. This idea of the spiritual guru or the monk or the yogi,
Yeah.
the ascetic, basically, who goes off and finds himself and does everything alone and forsakes all material pleasure and just all that kind of stuff. And there's something to be said for that. I think that the story of Buddha or Siddhartha is Siddhartha is one of my favorite books by Hermann Hesse, and he kind of goes through the different levels that the Buddha goes through before he becomes this enlightened being.
Yeah.
And he talks about how he just basically buries himself into whatever lifestyle it is, one at a time, and eventually realizes that no single lifestyle is the answer to his life's questions. And so I think that this new emerging spiritual man is someone who is able to sort of take from those stories and appreciate the values that you can really cultivate in that kind of environment. Going off by yourself, getting quiet, taking the time to do the hermit thing, even if it's only for a week or 2 or 3, whatever. It doesn't have to. You don't have to dedicate your entire life to that anymore. I think we've finally gotten to a time where the whole point is to be present, be in the moment, and look around us and say, okay, this is what I am. This is what I've created. This is an extension of what I'm supposed to experience right here, right now. So yes, a big part of that is being spiritual. It's doing the energy work. It's meditating. It's following those values that are sometimes really hard to follow when no one else around you is doing it. But at the same time, it's hanging out with the guys and going out and grabbing some beers and telling dirty jokes or whatever it is that you do with your buddies. That's equally as important in establishing your manhood as it is as the meditation is. And as long as you are able to keep that balance and know that everything that you're doing comes from a part of you that's just beyond the physical, your heart, your soul, and you're true to that, then you're doing everything right as far as I'm concerned. There's no wrong in that space, Yeah. So yeah, that's just kind of my take on the new spiritual man that I think is going to emerge even more so, because we've seen this movement of like the New Age movement, and it has such a stigma attached to it. Like, oh well, they're all tambourine playing hippies or very peaceful, proper, yogis who don't have sex or don't do this or don't do that. And I think that there's now the time to really integrate all of that and become whole people and not deny ourselves what makes us human. There are things that we should experience. It's never good to go overboard with anything, but you have to sort of honor every aspect of being human, and that's how you can, that's how we bring heaven to earth, in my opinion. Everyone's on this quest. Like, a lot of people believe you're either going to heaven or hell, but I believe that we are in heaven or hell right now, and we create that every moment of every day. And when you really start to honor everything about yourself, your self-worth goes up because you're acknowledging those aspects of yourself that maybe someone else judged before or you judged yourself. And you can really just free yourself from all that limitation and just, just be you.
That's really important. Integrating, being in society and not necessarily being of society, but enjoying the luxuries of being it.
It's a co-creation. It's a co-creation, something that we all can hand in hand in creating and enjoying. And there's something to be said for going out and sitting on the beach and drinking an expensive glass of wine. It's just, there are moments like that I'll never forget and I'll always appreciate. But it doesn't mean that that's all I want. It just means that there's a certain level of appreciation for that moment that you can honor and enjoy several times.